Hey everybody, how y'all doing? My name is Jim Austin, and this is my co-host, Jenni
Ibarra, but
Ibarra.
that's okay.
And we're here with North Texas Talks with
Jim and Jenni.
So we welcome you. We are launching a brand new podcast project right out of Fort Worth. We're here at the JAO Podcast Studio at 2201 Dottie Lynn Parkway. It's the headquarters of the Austin Company and the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. And we have a very distinguished interviewee here, and my friend. I want to introduce you to Andy Taff, President or CEO?
President.
President of Downtown Inc. All of you have been to Main Street Arts Festival. Starts and ends right here with this guy and his team. So welcome, Andy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here. As someone who is so influential in the downtown area, right, what are some things that maybe our audience don't know that are happening here in our city, in downtown per se? Something that you want to share?
Yeah, it's a really great time for downtown Fort Worth right now. We've had a lot of residential development that's occurred over the last 10, 15 years or so.
Yeah.
A lot of hotel development, and when you add it all up, with Texas A&M and the Convention Center and everything else that's going on, there's about $3 billion worth of development that is in the pipeline, the foreseeable future pipeline, just for that little area of Fort Worth. So it's a great time to be around downtown.
Yeah, it's a great time. And we have one of the best downtowns in the nation, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
And
Yes.
the other note is that we are the 10th largest city in the United States. And you don't think about that when you think of Fort Worth, because lifestyle in Fort Worth is like easy living, but a true big city. And every day, every week, there's something new that's coming to town. And Andy probably can tell us a little bit about what's new coming to town.
You mentioned the size of Fort Worth being the 10th largest city in the country. Not too long ago, TCU did a study of people from outside of Fort Worth, because obviously they wanted to get people to come to Fort Worth to go to TCU. And they asked a perception question about Fort Worth. How big do you think Fort Worth is among the American cities? And I'm going to get the number wrong, but it was, people were saying something like, it's the 45th largest city in the country, something like that. And it really surprised people when at that time we were the 16th largest city. I think that's about right. And so now to be the 10th largest city, we just passed Austin, really puts us up there in a different category. And while we sit somewhat in the economic development shadow that's cast by Dallas, because they're so much bigger and the sports teams have Dallas in the name, and that big letter D in the initials DFW airport, that's a really big D. And we need to pump up the FW in DFW so that our reputational attraction is stronger and we get more companies coming to Fort Worth.
I love that. And as someone who's been here for 25 years, and I love to say that it's you get the small town feel, but with the big city vibe, right? And you get a little bit of everything. And I've launched Cultura Fort Worth to just emphasize, what does culture in Fort Worth look like to you, or feel like to you? What would you say?
Oh gosh, it's, first of all, the cultures that blend here in Fort Worth are really kind of special. We've got this really rich Mexican-American culture. There's a surprise. It was a surprise to me how large the Asian community is in DFW and the areas surrounding DFW, and you've got the Western heritage that we've all enjoyed, and all of those are kind of coming together in this really great blend. And then you add all the sports activity that's happening in Arlington and all the incredible things that are happening in Dallas. All of that is kind of stirred together here, and you get the best of all those worlds in Fort Worth.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, when I got here in 77, I've been here 48 years. I joined Rotary in 46 years ago, and Fort Worth has always just been home. And you would normally think that Jim would have moved over to Dallas to be in that lifestyle, but I love it here. As you said, it's a small town atmosphere, but really a big, big town. And Andy and I have been friends a long time, since he came to town. And Andy, I know you were in Shreveport a few months ago.
Well, it was 22 years ago.
Okay.
Amazingly, and they've gone by in a flash of an eye, right? But we were in Shreveport for 6 years, moved there from Tampa, Florida, and had a great time in Shreveport. Just a remarkable time. Got a lot done in that downtown, and then was recruited to come to Fort Worth at a time when my predecessor, Ken Devereaux, had retired.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he turned over a remarkable, really an organization that was the model for others like it around the country. So I was really blessed to inherit a great staff, a great tradition of working together and planning and then following through on plans. So I couldn't have asked for better timing on coming to Fort Worth.
Well, your personality is Fort Worth, and you're so respected downtown Rotary and wherever you go. And then, you and I sit on the Trinity Terrace board together, which is the Mac Daddy of where you want to live when you retire. We
Right.
just steer the way of the three towers down there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Downtown Inc. and the projects that you do. I mentioned Main Street Arts Festival and then the Parade of Lights. So you're doing some great things for everybody's family.
Yeah,
sir.
those are our big events. They're free events. And, Main Street Arts Festival is always in the top 5 art festivals around the country as ranked by the artists and their sales. And the Parade of Lights is how we kick off the holiday season, the shopping season in downtown. And that's a remarkable family-friendly event. But we also developed the JFK tribute in downtown.
Yes.
Right outside the Hilton where President Kennedy gave his last speech. And so we built that recently. And well, gosh, it's been 10 years ago or so. And just recently, in December of last year, we had the ribbon cutting on the T&P station gateway. It used to be a rather modest entrance to the South Terminal, and now it's a really bold statement on Lancaster with a lot of historic exhibits. So, so between those two and our partnership with Fort Worth Housing Solutions, that used to be the Housing Authority, we are partners on a 172-unit, 12-acre development in downtown, mixed-income housing. And,
That is great.
And we've got 100% occupancy with a waiting list, and there are people who have lived in there for years and years and years, and it's just performing like a champ. So between these events that we do and some bricks and mortar development that we do, and the housing and the advocacy for affordable and mixed income housing in downtown, as well as managing the public improvement district and the tax increment financing district, and working on homelessness issues, we've kind of got our fingers in a whole lot of pies. And the big things coming up are Texas A&M, the expansion of the convention center, a new convention center hotel, and a couple of hotels that are kind of kicking the tires right now that I would expect to see open within the next few years.
You just finished the big dinner thing downtown.
The main table.
Main table.
Right.
This is the first year I've been there.
Oh.
That was like networking on steroids, man. I just had my camera out, taking a picture and worked the whole room. It used to be the whole main street, but y'all doubled up the tables this year.
It's a hot ticket for sure. It's dinner for 600, white tablecloth right down the middle of Main Street for 3 blocks. But this year, for the first time, and I think this was our 10th or 11th year, the wind was coming from the south over the dome of that arena, and it was just diving down onto Main Street, and we could not set a glass on the table without it topping over. So we had to double up and triple up the tables a block away from the convention center. So while it wasn't one long table, we still got the 600 in, and I had a great time. And the reason that it's 600 is that we have 5 restaurants that are all serving out the door, right out their door, right onto the street. And if there's bad weather, everybody goes into the restaurants, and that's the best Plan B ever. And so,
Genius.
yeah, it works really great. It's a really fun night. It sells out super quick.
That's
We've got
awesome.
really great sponsors, and frankly, that instead of having a golf tournament in downtown, we're going to feed you.
Yeah.
So,
And have a good time.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
good. So how many vendors do you have, and what's your annual budget for Downtown Inc.? Is that public?
Yeah, sure. It can range anywhere between $8 million and $12 million a year,
Okay.
depending on what our special project is.
Yeah.
And, JFK, that was a $3 million project, so that year it was probably closer to $12 million. And Burnett Park, we redid that. That was another $3 million project. Right now, we're working on Heritage and Paddock Park. And
Yes.
Paddock Park is that big green space right in front of the courthouse.
Okay.
And Heritage Park is that green space that goes down to the river, just adjacent and west of the courthouse. And those two projects combined are going to be somewhere on the order of $50 million. So that'll be a big year,
Yeah.
right? And so we're out there fundraising. We're not exactly sure what it's going to cost. We'll know later this fall because we're going to do another pricing exercise at the 60% plan set. And so we'll know then whether or not we've already reached our fundraising goal or whether or not we need to keep going out. And so far, we have identified $45 million of what we think is going to be a $55 million goal.
Okay.
So we've reached 45, and we'll see. We'll see what happens at the 60% plan set, because COVID and price
Yeah.
escalations have really thrown a wrench into a lot of development projects.
True.
So, between maybe having raised enough money and maybe some value engineering and switching things around, maybe we're already there. I hope so, but we'll know soon.
That's exciting.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I have a question. So with that, if you can instantly change one thing about downtown with no politics, no cost, what would it be?
Downtown Fort Worth has I-35 on the east side of it, I-30 on the south side of it, and the river on the west. So it's an island. And you either have to have tunnels or bridges
Okay.
to get to it.
Yeah.
Right? And so the natural, organic transition of commercial, center city, downtown life to neighborhood life is separated by these man-made and natural barriers.
Yeah.
Now, the river's really great, the interstate's really great, all of the infrastructure that we've got, the train tracks to the north and to the south, are these big barriers. If I could wave a magic wand and figure out how to knit the urban core of Fort Worth into the neighborhoods a little more elegantly than we have, I would do that.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be Fort Worth.
It wouldn't be Fort Worth.
If I could wave a magic wand, that's what I'd do, but
Okay.
heaven only knows what changes that would, unexpected changes that would create.
Yeah, and is it the Butler Housing, the abandoned housing project? I know we're trying to find something that's going to uplift Fort Worth. You spoke of that at our real estate.
I would not categorize it as abandoned. The Butler Housing Project has been closed, and everyone there has been relocated to much better living conditions. I mean, talk about an island. That was surrounded by interstates, no jobs in there. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. It had its purpose over time, but we've grown past that. And now Fort Worth Housing Solutions, which again used to be the Housing Authority, now has control over 42 acres of prime redevelopment land at the intersection of I-30, I-35, right next to downtown Fort Worth, and a train to the second busiest airport in North America. It's a pretty sweet location. So they are working with HUD to snip the federal ties that are associated with that land so that they can go to the market and identify a developer or developers that they could partner with to create something really special on that 42 acres. And mind you, Fort Worth ISD has their flagship STEM and Visual and Performing Arts Academy right there, which we worked with the Black Chamber to help make happen in the center city as opposed to way out somewhere.
Which we appreciate. Yeah.
And so I would expect that next year we'll start to hear some news coming out of Fort Worth Housing Solutions about their progress toward finding developers to do something really ambitious. And I know that they want to generate a ongoing cash flow so that they can build more housing. They want to build some mixed income housing on the site and affordable workforce housing on the site. And I think that one of the things I've heard coming out of them is that they would like that land to be occupied by something that significantly moves the economic needle in Fort Worth. So it might be something we haven't seen before.
That's good.
That brings high-paying jobs to Fort Worth and changes the economy. And, if there's a new opportunity for that land, because not only is it has really good and improved interstate access when all this is said and done, and the train to the airport and downtown, but now Texas A&M is going to be right next door. So it may be that, maybe high-tech companies are going to be interested in harvesting some of those students that are coming out of Texas A&M.
Sure.
So I think the universe of potential businesses that would be interested in Fort Worth, Texas, is going to expand dramatically over the next couple of years, and that land in that location is going to be a real prime opportunity for somebody.
So you heard it right here. So the vision of what this podcast is bringing you some ideas and things that you can think about to move the dial. So I know all of you been to Main Street Arts Festival. Is that a volunteer base that, you have all them people down there making it happen?
Yeah, we're always looking for more volunteers, trust me. It takes about 1,000 volunteers to put on that event. It's 4 days, and so it takes about 1,000 folks. We do have a professional staff that runs it, but you cannot host that many people without a lot of volunteers. So if anybody out there is interested in volunteering, go to dfwi.org, shoot us an email, and we'd love to plug you in.
Yeah, because it puts Fort Worth in the map, because all those artists, they come, you have to design something, make something. You can't just manufacture something. It's all about art.
Yeah, and in fact, the artists who show at the Main Street Art Festival, and this is different than a lot, the person that you're meeting at the tent, that's the artist.
That is great.
They can't bring a rep that's just going to take a credit card. That's the artist. And it's all original. Some have prints, but it has to be their work. They can't outsource it to China or somebody somewhere else. That craftsperson made the merchandise that you're seeing in the tent.
Wow.
And I think that speaks to the culture here in Fort Worth, right? It's like, it's authentic, it's real. You're going to meet the artist, the owner, the people. It's just, it gives you that thing. With that, what would you say is one of your favorite hidden gems here in Fort Worth, since you spend a lot of time in downtown,
wow,
that you
that's
would recommend to our audience?
That's a really great question. Okay, I'll give you the newest hidden gem.
Tell me.
Right? You know where the Hilton?
Stillwater.
Jim's going to be.
All right.
All right.
Okay, no,
Man, what a setup.
Yeah, you went right into it.
What a
Go
setup.
ahead.
The Hilton Hotel is connected to another hotel that was it was an extension of the Hilton Hotel for a while, and it closed down because Fort Worth couldn't support that many hotel rooms, so they shut down this annex basically. And not long ago, just a couple of years ago, a new hotel has completely renovated that. It's called the Le Méridien. And at the top of the Le Méridien Hotel is a brand new rooftop bar. Ooh. And it's got great views, and it's really kind of swanky. The lighting is really neat at night. They have live music. So I would say go upstairs to the Le Méridien. That's the newest kind of secret spot that a lot of people don't know about yet.
And you heard it here first.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah.
My fraternity, we did a after-hours private mixer right up there in that bar. Mm-hmm. And it's
nice,
a
right?
rooftop bar, but it's enclosed with glass around. Then you go out on the balcony and you walk all the way around. Yeah. So We need to go do a podcast from up there.
We should. We'll take
Yeah,
it on
that's
the
a good
road.
idea.
On the road. Hey, welcome back to North Texas Talks with Jim.
And Jenny.
Yes, we're so excited about our guest today, Andy Taff, president of Downtown Inc. So, Jenny, you had a question before we
Yeah,
went to break.
I had a question on upon your arrival here, what was your first impression of Fort Worth, right? And the work that needed to get done, and how has it evolved over the years?
All right, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
well, first of all, I knew Fort Worth because
Okay.
I knew Kevin Devereaux, my predecessor, and he was one of my mentors. He was one of the people that I would call when I was in Shreveport and say, look, I've got this problem, how would you handle that,
Yeah.
right? And he was always very generous and very supportive. And so I came from Shreveport. I actually flew one time, and I got in a cab and drove from the airport to downtown Fort Worth. I'm talking to the cabbie and trying to figure out, what do people think about Fort Worth? And the cab driver said, "You are going to love Fort Worth. It's an amazing city. You're just absolutely going to love it." And so that was great. That's a really good first impression when a cab driver talks to you like that. When my wife and I were looking for a house, we were going from place to place with our broker, and we went to this one house, and this woman answered the door, the woman that owned the house. And before we even got in the house, she said, "So what brings you to town?" And I told her the job I was going to get, and she said, "Honey, you are going to love Fort Worth." So my first impression was that Fort Worth had a well-deserved civic ego, right? It felt good about itself. And there's a lot of cities in the country that don't. They're losing population for whatever reason. And so that was my first impression. And it was proven out very quickly that, oh, okay, there's a lot going on here. It's growing. There's a lot for, if you want to work, there is a lot of work to be done in this community. So that was my first impression, was that this was a place I wanted to be, which is great. As for what needed to be done, I think it's more of the same. Fort Worth has a tradition of planning, and in downtown in particular, we do these 10-year plans. And the planning process, the 10-year planning process was just ending as I arrived, and I read that 10-year plan, and it included the Trinity River Vision and all of these, big ideas, and I didn't have to think about what needed to be done because there were decades of people thinking about what needed to be done, and they wrote them all down.
I love that.
And anything that didn't get done in the last 10-year plan that was still high quality was rolled over into the next plan. So as I interviewed, I was reading the strategic plan, and there was no invention needed on my part. It was, let's get this stuff done.
I love
and so
that.
I had, my organization had an agenda, and they were very clear with the city and the county and the chamber and everybody else that this is what we were going to do. And so I was able to roll up my sleeves from day one and get to work.
I love that. That's great.
Yes, the people that come here, they remember Fort Worth, like the stockyards, the running of the Longhorns. When not too long ago, it was 1 million. Now, how many million people are visiting the stockyards?
Yeah, it depends on how you
qualify.
How do you define visit?
Yes.
But anywhere between 9 and 12 million, depending on how you define visit, or visitors and repeat visits and that kind of thing. It's a big number.
Yeah, and the working relationship with the stockyards, the museum district, Downtown Inc., near South Side, and now the South Side on Evans Avenue.
Yeah.
There's a connection
For sure.
with everybody pushing each other's business. So when you get here, you can't believe the lifestyle.
Yeah, and I would add Riverside and Race Street, the
Exactly.
the immediate east side. The entire urban core of Fort Worth is growing now, and they're starting to grow together. They're growing out for sure,
Yeah.
but they're also growing in and growing together. And so that network of neighborhoods to downtown, while we have to deal with those barriers, they're starting to become smaller and smaller barriers.
I love that.
Because of all the infill development that we have, a lot of residential and retail and entertainment and new restaurants, all that stuff is growing together.
Yeah, housing is such a big item. Jenny and I are both realtors. You know, we do commercial real estate, so that meeting each other, that's a part of our connection. But the downtown corridor, that if you want to live down there, you can live down there.
You sure
You
can.
know, can you talk to my wife to see if she would consider moving downtown?
I don't think I'm the one that should be talking to your wife. You
Well,
might,
you
there might
have
be somebody else at the
influence.
dinner table
You
that's
know,
better off.
You know, I've been talking.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, if she watches this podcast, she'll know that you would be investing in a really strong area.
Right.
And it's
a
interesting.
smart move. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to live. I used to live downtown.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No, good.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Good
yeah.
answer.
We would run and go. We would go on a night run to Trinity. We lived off of 4th Street, and
Yeah.
then we would go out the same night. Go home, take a shower, and go out.
Yeah,
and
great.
keep dancing.
Yeah, nice.
That was fun.
Good.
We had a great
Yeah,
time.
that's
yeah,
great.
Yeah, so it's good. Well, Andy, it's been surely a pleasure getting to talk to you about your vision and the direction that downtown is going in. So anything that we can do to support, we're here. We'll be broadcasting and letting people know you need volunteers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
And
Thank you.
yeah, so any last comments you want to make before we shut this down? sir?
You know, I'll tell you, it would be criminal if I didn't thank PNC Bank, who's the big sponsor of the Main Street Fort Worth
Yes.
Arts Festival, and GM Financial. They're the big sponsors of the Parade of Lights. And we couldn't do it without the sponsors. And those are our two big lead sponsors. So I'm looking straight at the camera and saying thank you for
Thank you.
for all of the assistance that both of those companies bring to the things that we are bringing to downtown for the people of Fort Worth.
They are, and they're very well grounded in Fort Worth, and having them as a partner is so strong.
Yeah.
To do that. So, anything else?
Where can our audience find the events that are coming to downtown, or the timelines, or information on it?
Sure.
We can move involved.
We are in all the social media platforms, and if you just look up Downtown Fort Worth or Downtown Fort Worth Inc., or go to our website, dfwi.org, all of our events and that big park project is on the website, along with a lot of stuff we didn't have time to cover today. But dfwi.org is kind of a one-stop shop for all of the research we do and a lot of the information on the economic development. And then just look us up on the social media platforms.
And
Great.
we'd like to bring you back maybe in March or April before the Main Street Arts
Oh, that'd be
Festival.
great.
So
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
talk about
Highlight it.
what's new, how the park's doing and all. So
Yeah, that'd be great.
count on us. We're growing. We're doing something real positive, and to have you on the show, that was a big hit.
Yes.
So
Thank you so much
we-
for your time.
Thanks for the
making-
invitation.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
really
Yeah,
appreciate
we
it.
Stay in
It's been
touch.
good,
So
good combo.
I want to thank you from North Texas Talks with Jim
Jim and Jenny.
Jenny. Yes.
We're gonna get it together sometime.
Yes.
All right, thank you.